Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you a list of NFL facts that sound fake but are 100% real. Well, I guess some of them aren't that crazy, but a lot of these I found extremely interesting. Also, how about the Bears moving to Indiana possibly? I think that's terrible. I think that's just awful. One of the OG teams, one of the most die-hard fan bases. I don't care if it's not that far of a drive away from Chicago. Don't take them out of the state of Illinois. I was talking about that on Twitter with some people this morning. A lot of people agree with that too. Like, it's just stupid. However, as always, you guys know the drill. We got a couple of quick plugs to run through, so don't forget to use code WW10 to save yourself a discount on any of Waggle's awesome products. And also don't forget to use code WyattzWorld at sign up on Prize Picks to guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But that's all I got. Let's get into some crazy NFL facts. Okay, so fact number one, starting off this list, it is once again going to be about a guy we just talked about in yesterday's video, and that is none other than Cam Newton. So Cam Newton played 11 years in the NFL. Now, some of them weren't full seasons, but majority of them were, or with just a game or two missed. Anyway, in those 11 seasons for Cam Newton, he has had just 2 games where he has thrown over 400 passing yards, and those 2 games were the first 2 games of his NFL career. Isn't that wild? Just think what everyone was thinking, think what Cam was thinking after that week 2. Like, man, this is easy. I'm going to dice them up every week, and then just never did it again. I know we had some good years, but that's like skill-based matchmaking when you first boot up a multiplayer game. Just get bots for the first couple, and then it's all downhill from there. Moving on to the next fact, we're going to date all the way back to December 8th, 2002. In other words, when this took place, I was 6. Anyway, on December 8th, 2002, there was a football game played between the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. In that football game, the Steelers threw up 422 yards of offense, while the Houston Texans threw up 47 total yards of offense. And the Texans won that game 24-6. For anyone wondering how that's possible, they had 2 pick sixes and a kick return touchdown. I think the Steelers also fumbled 3 or 4 times. Very good game. Moving on to the next fact we have is about a quarterback you guys may have heard of. His name is Steve Young. Played a 15-year career, won 3 Super Bowls with the 49ers, 3-time All-Pro, 2-time MVP. He's in the Hall of Fame. Now, what's the fact, you may ask? Well, during his 15-year career, Steve Young never ever one single time took a snap in the shotgun formation. Not once. He's never done it. Remember how 2 days ago I was talking about how the game has, completely evolved? Kind of hard to compare people back then to now. Well, there's some glaring evidence for you right there. Next fact I got for you guys circulates around the NFL draft and also circulates around a name you guys may have heard of that's more relevant in today's age, and that name is Josh Allen. So many of you guys may know that Josh Allen was drafted at 7th overall in the 2018 NFL draft. But what many people fail to remember is that Josh Allen was also drafted at number 7 overall in the 2019 draft. Has that ever happened before in sports history where 2 people with the same exact name have been drafted in the same exact spot in back-to-back years? Like, it's not that crazy, but it is crazy because it's like, what a coincidence. Many, many years from now, when like all of our kids are back looking at the record books and back looking at the old drafts, they're gonna see that and they're gonna go, what the fuck? I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, next fact I have on the list, well, facts I should say, are the many similarities of the injury that took place between Joe Theismann and Alex Smith. Now, I'm sure you do remember this injury. It's the injury that, essentially ended Alex Smith's career. He almost lost his leg. Pretty sure at one point almost lost his life from an infection during it. It was back in 2018 anyway. What's crazy about that injury is that that injury took place exactly 33 years to the date of when Joe Theismann got hurt. Both of these injuries took place on November 18th. Both of these injuries were a broken right fibula and tibula. Both of these players were on the Washington Commanders. Can't say the other one, but the same team. Both of these injuries took place in Washington, D.C. Both of these injuries happened at the 39-yard line. Both of these games ended with the final score of 23-21. Both of these injuries were caused by a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. And both of these teams had a Pro Bowl left tackle who was not on the field for that game due to an injury. Is that not fucking nuts. That's one of those things that it's truly unbelievable, but it's real. So you're like caught in this almost void of like, is this fucking real life? Like that's eerie. That's legitimately scary. Whoever the Commanders quarterback is 33 years from November 18th, 2018, I fucking fear for you, brother. I really do. Next fun fact we have is about Tom Brady. Did you know that Tom Brady is second all time when it comes to receiving for players over the age of 40? Tom Brady also has like 7 total receiving yards. The only one who's ahead of him is Jerry Rice. I just think that's kind of crazy just due to the fact that not only is Tom Brady, you know, a quarterback, but also just shows how truly rare it is that any offensive player for that matter can make it past the age of 40 and, you know, still play and remain relevant. Like it just doesn't happen. Now, next fact we have is about another quarterback catching passes. This quarterback I'm sure you guys have heard of a time or two. His name is Brett Favre. Now, what's interesting about Brett Favre's career receptions is that this man only had 2 receptions in his entire career. You know, granted, he was a quarterback. But both of Brett Favre's receptions were also thrown by Brett Favre. Now, how many people can say they've done that? I mean, we've seen Marcus Mariota do it before, but I'm pretty sure Marcus Mariota's only career receptions are not from him. Also, if they are, forgive me, but Marcus Mariota ain't no fucking Brett Favre. Brett Favre played as an elite top-tier quarterback in this league for 15 years. Poor Brett Favre, man, holding all the wrong records for all the wrong reasons. Next up is a fact that I think I've mentioned on this channel before, but I think it is just too damning to not talk about again because it's just fucking hilarious and impressive. But former linebacker from the Patriots, Larry Izzo, allegedly, and this has been alleged by more than one source by the way, won a game ball by taking a shit on the sidelines during a game and not being detected doing it. I don't know how they pulled that off, especially when there was no blue tents on the sideline back in that day, but that is some truly incredible stuff if he was able to do that. For one, how could you even shit in that situation? I could never shit if I was surrounded by 40,000 people looking at me. Even if they weren't looking directly at me, I'm still in the sight of them. Like, this guy sounds like he just did not give a fuck. Also, who is the one that ordered that, or did he just take business upon himself? Like, coach, I gotta take a dump. Well, Larry, sorry, you can't. You might as well just go on the sideline. Like, what happened? Next fun fact I'm gonna blast you guys with is about Jim Harbaugh, you know, the current Los Angeles Chargers head coach. Did you know that Jim Harbaugh has more career rushing yards than Bo Jackson? It's not by a lot, it's by single digits. But I still think that's pretty damning because, you know, everybody talks about Bo Jackson and looks at Bo Jackson as one of the most dominating rushers ever, which he was a bowling ball, but Jim Harbaugh was able to accumulate more rushing yards than Bo. Now, granted, Jim Harbaugh did play as a quarterback for 14 fucking years, but still, that's pretty shocking. Like, every time someone talks about Bo Jackson around you now and how good Bo Jackson was, remind them that even though he was elite, he didn't run more than old Jimmy Harbs. And piggybacking off of Jimbo there, the last fact of this list is actually also going to be about the Chargers. This time it's the San Diego Chargers. But back in 2010, the Chargers had the #1 offense and the #1 defense in the league statistically, and they missed the playoffs. Can you imagine that? That's quite literally like what I went through in fantasy a couple years ago that pretty much made me quit. You know, when I outscored the league and missed the playoffs, like how does that even happen? Well, I actually have an answer for you. Their special teams was fucking awful. It was the worst in the league. Their special teams lost them 5 of their first 7 games of the year. Imagine literally having the best team in football and not even getting a chance to win the Super Bowl. Like that's awful, that's pathetic. And that is going to do it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen, of me giving you guys a list of some NFL facts that I find quite bizarre. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and you want to show support, please do it because you know I appreciate it. And please let me know some facts that I missed and left off. I love to learn new things. But anyway, you guys know the drill as always. I'm going to hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday, and I will see you in the next upload.